Good day, I'm Mr. Wallace. Welcome to the shop. Today we're going to talk about the drill press. So the drill press is basically just a stationary drill. You turn it on and it spins a bit, and you drop the bit into the work and it cuts a hole. Okay, there's a couple details I want you to know about this piece of equipment. The drill press has a metal base which can be raised and lowered depending on the height of your workpiece. Right? I'll just leave it right around here. Trouble is, that's a piece of metal, and we don't want this bit to come into contact with that metal. It'll ruin the drill bit. So there's a couple other settings that I want to show you that'll help you prevent that. This piece right here, that's called the chuck. The chuck is what holds the drill bit, and this is a drill bit. We can change out the drill bits by just loosening the chuck here, and the bit falls right out. And we put the bit back in and tighten the chuck. I like to do it on both sides. Make sure it's really nice and tight. Another cool feature about this piece of equipment is the height stop. I can set this anywhere I want, and it'll limit how far down the drill press can go. If I only want to go down an inch, it'll go down an inch, and it'll stop. It stops right there and it can't go any further. That'll prevent the bit from coming into contact with the metal base plate. Another thing that's commonly done is to put a sacrificial piece of wood on top of this base plate that your drill bit can run into, typically made out of wood, so that if you do go through your workpiece, it's going to hit a piece of wood and not this metal. So I've just got a piece of scrap wood here, and I'll just fasten it to the base plate temporarily with a clamp. And now I'm going to set the height limit to just when it's going to go a little tiny bit into this wood, so that I know it's going to go all the way through my workpiece, but it's not going to go as deep as hitting the metal. So this bit will go into the wood a tiny little bit, but the height stop is keeping it from going any further and damaging the bit by hitting this metal. Okay, the next thing to talk about is drill bits. You've got your usual type of drill bits, which are just basically a twisted, sharp piece of metal that'll bore a hole through whatever wood you're working with. And they come in all kinds of sizes, all the way up to a ½ an inch wide. We also have spade bits like this for cutting big holes. And my personal favorite, Forstner bit. This is for cutting really nice, accurate, round holes. This is the type of bit that we're going to be using today to cut some holes in our workpiece. Okay, what I'm going to be doing with this workpiece is I'm going to be drilling, I think, about 5 holes in here, and the holes are going to be just big enough and just deep enough to accept a little tea light candle. So I've already selected the correct drill bit. Okay, this Forstner bit here is going to drill a hole just the right size to accept one of these. But I want to make it so that it's not too deep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use this as a measurement tool to see how deep I want this bit to go. Say about that deep, no deeper than that, so I can just set the limit stop right there. And then before I actually cut into the workpiece, I'm going to take a piece of scrap and I'm going to cut a test hole and see how this fits. Alright, I got this piece of scrap wood. It's the same thickness as my workpiece, so I want to make it so that I can drop this candle in and it sits just below the surface of the wood. Alright, so I'm going to make a test cut, or a test hole with this Forstner bit now. Let's see now. All right, drop straight in. I think we're good. We can move on to our actual workpiece now. Okay, before I drill these holes, I'm just going to use this candle to mark out where I want the placement of these holes to be. So I'll just trace them out roughly. They don't have to be pretty. In fact, I could just go ahead and draw a little dot where the center of these holes are going to be. One here, one here. Let's do a couple in the middle here, one there, and a couple over here. And we'll see how that works out. So now I got 6 holes to drill. Let's do that. Okay, I hope you're watching carefully there because I did make a couple of mistakes. One good safety policy is to, anytime you need to make an adjustment, turn it off. And then when you're ready to start again, when you're ready for your next hole, press start again. That way you don't have this dangerous spinning bit of death that you could accidentally touch. The other mistake that I made was there was a moment, you maybe rewind the tape and take a look, there was a moment where I let go of the workpiece in order to make an adjustment on how I was gripping the handle. And luckily, the workpiece ran into this clamp here. Otherwise, if I let go of it and the clamp didn't stop it, the workpiece would just spin and spin and spin and spin and spin. So, whenever possible, clamp your workpiece down first. But if you're not going to clamp it, always keep a tight grip on it the entire time. Okay, so I've put my 6 holes. They're not terribly precise. I'm just doing this for a practice activity here, but there they are. As you can see, that T-light fits perfectly in all those holes. Now, one of the main rules of the shop is you clean up after yourself. As you can see, this Forstner bit has left quite a mess. There's wood shavings and sawdust all over the place. So before I do anything else, I better clean that up. Okay, everybody, that's the basics of using the drill press. We'll see you next time.